I'm breaking up with Dota 2. And I say breaking up because it feels scarily similar to a breakup. Because I love Dota. And I am very scared that I will never love anything else the way that I love Dota. And it's such a deep part of me and it will always stay with me. But there are two big reasons why I am making this decision. The first is that it takes more than it gives in my life. And the second, and I'm going to go into heavy detail into both of these reasons, is that the market in Dota is dead. The game is not dead. The game is very alive and will stay alive for a very long time, I believe. However, the market is long gone. And what I mean by market is just like potential to make a living, to make money here in Dota through Dota content. If we look at the Dota market from a high level perspective, what do we see? It is mostly jaded boomers and people from third world countries, both of which pretty much only play Dota and they don't have money to spend or don't want to spend money on Dota, or at least improving at Dota. They don't have dreams of becoming pro anymore. They don't even really care about improving like they used to. And this relates to the esports bubble that just happened. About 10 years ago, all the way up to the end of the pandemic, people dreamed of being pro players, right? They wanted to improve. Companies were dumping money into esports. Prize pools were astronomical. The market was healthy, in other words. The market was healthy. And this applies to all esports, right? Not just Dota. And now the esports bubble is pretty much popped. And what's left is a wasteland. So that's the high level, right? So let's look at what I see that is tangible in the Dota space that goes along with this theory. 1, prize pool is going way down, obviously. 2, YouTube ad revenue for Dota, guys, if you didn't know, it's like $1 for 1,000 views. And this number is generally an indicator of the health of a market because it's what advertisers pay to put their ads in that niche, right? So it's basically how willing are these people to spend money on things generally. And in most other niches, guys, it is $5 to $10, literally 5 to 10x Dota. That is the market saying that people in Dota don't want to spend money or like do anything else except play Dota. That's what that means. Next tangible observation. My raid deal with GameLeap wasn't even really close to becoming long-term, guys. GameLeap told me that they have channels outside of Dota with half the views that I get doing like 5 times the results. It's just absurd. By the way, I want to give an official thank you from the bottom of my heart to everybody who signed up to raid for me. I really, really appreciate all the support and love that, I got during that time period that you guys showed me. It means a lot. It really does. But anyway, so this company, GameLeap, right? They've been in Dota for 10 plus years and they were absolutely printing money in Dota from like 2016 to 2022 during the esports bubble, right? And they saw firsthand the wasteland it became. And now their efforts as a company are just not focused on Dota at all. They're pivoting very hard. And they still want to work with me as a creator, just not in Dota, right? Like they straight up looked me in the eye and they said, your content is really good. It's not you, Mr. Krabby, it's Dota. The world as a whole has moved on from Dota, except for Russia. For whatever reason, the Dota market in Russia is blossoming, which is really weird. And I want to say again, I think the game is very alive, but the world is still moving on. It feels like this like underground, like passion fight club situation. It's like what Dota is. Anyway, and it's not just Dota, right? It's these hyper competitive games that are soul consuming. Like League of Legends is in the exact same state, just with a little bit more attention. Valorant 2 is in the exact same state. The world right now likes trendy games, okay? Like Marvel Rivals, where a big wave comes, like Arc Raiders, right? Big wave comes and then it dies. And then the next like trendy game comes. Or like Raid Shadow Legends or Minecraft, right? Like these more casual games. That's where markets are healthy. And I know it sounds like I'm dooming extremely hard, guys, okay? But what are the signs that indicate otherwise? Like somebody tell me one sign that indicates the Dota market is healthy, right? Like there's a difference between dooming and just being real. And you guys know me, right? Like I am a giga optimist, okay? I never doom. I never do. When I entered the Dota scene, I had the, demon mode 1v9 mindset that I can do it, right? I can pop the off and I can make it. But I didn't realize just how bad the market was. And I can, right? I still can. If I demon mode swag out pop off in Dota, I can make a mediocre living. I can make a mediocre living for sure. 100%. Or I can make things easier for myself and work with the wind instead of against it, right? So the reality is when you have a talented creator in a bad market, you get mediocre results, right? And if you put a talented creator in a good market, you get exceptional results. This is just being real. And it's not all about the money for me, guys. I'll get into that in a bit. But this is what we see, right? This like creator times market condition equation, right? Because let's look at examples of trying to monetize seriously in ways that I would, right? From something like a paid community, right? Like the BSJ Dota Dojo or Payne's School. If you do the math, and I'm not going to do it here, you can do it yourself. You just take how much they're making minus what they pay their people, right? They're not doing it alone. They're just like barely afloat by American standards of money because the currency exchange. And it's not them. Like, I want to emphasize, BSJ and Payne are super talented, amazing creators. I guarantee if you took Payne or BSJ and they did the exact same thing in a different niche with channels of their size, they would be making at least 10 times bare minimum what they make now. Because I've been around the internet, guys. This is not my first time in the content rodeo. Okay. I know what it's like elsewhere. What I will say though, is that there still is, and there will probably always be a market for private coaching, because half of what people pay for is to talk to the guy, right? That's like half the value. So that's different from people's desire to improve. But I don't want to coach people for 6 hours every day at all. That doesn't sound fun to me. And there's also a ceiling on that just naturally because it's tied to my time. And I'm an ambitious guy, okay? I know exactly what I want my life to look like. I know how I want to spend my days, and I know exactly how much money I need to get there. And Dota's just not going to cut it, guys. The ceiling is just too low. But again, it's not all about the money, okay? There's a second point that goes into my decision to break up with Dota, and it's that Dota takes more than it gives in my life. And this is why I have to fully break up with it instead of like keep playing it on the side. And I said earlier that Dota is a soul-consuming game. What do I mean by that? Well, and this is perhaps the bigger reason. Playing Dota narrows the things that bring me pleasure in life. It creates these false peak experiences that make everything else in life feel duller. I know this sounds extreme, guys. Let me cook. Let me cook. Let me land. Let me land. It feels so incredibly good to play this game that it makes me not want to do anything else, okay? It's different than other video games. Other video games don't do that to me, but Dota does. It is just so incredibly potent, okay? And how I'm gonna describe it is like a shadow career. And this is not even including the whole content side. Like, Dota as a game is a shadow career. I use those words because it really makes you feel like you're productive and achieving something when you play, when you gain MMR, but there's nothing on the other side, okay? You're not building toward anything real, but it feels like you are so deeply. Our brains have natural reward systems to get us to do things, okay? Dopamine is a buzzword for that. And Dota hijacks this reward system that's meant for like achievement and working hard in the perfect way. Better than anything I've ever seen before. So it just suppresses your desire to do anything else, like neurologically. It's a shadow career siphoning my ambition, one dopamine hit at a time. And now I'm going to use a word where people, for some reason, get really weird when I use this word. I don't know why. I think it's a defense mechanism, okay? But the line between passion and here it is, brace yourself, addiction. The line between passion and addiction is very, very blurry, okay? Like, too blurry. Like, I cannot distinguish. Like, when I'm in a Dota phase in my life, I don't feel like spending as much time with family or friends or doing normal, healthy human things. And I'm not saying that I don't do them or that you can't do them when you're playing Dota. I'm saying I don't feel like doing it. And doing those things don't feel as good, which has major consequences, right? You're naturally going to do them less. I'm not as present when I am doing those things. Dota is in the back of my mind because of the shadow career mechanism. So when I look at something in my life and I say that it narrows what brings me pleasure, it makes life duller, and it makes me not want to do other things, it's sus. It's sus. Like, it sounds like I'm talking about heroin. Do you guys get it? Like, it really does. And I can only speak for myself, but man, like, I think this is something that we all feel, or at least most of us, definitely to different degrees, but a lot of us don't admit it. And if you find yourself getting defensive or angry right now, maybe you're already typing a comment as I'm talking, that should speak for itself. Like, why are you irritated? Why? I'm just a guy sharing my experience through a screen to you, okay? It's a defense mechanism. Like, wake up. Wake up. Whenever I think about this, I always think about what good old Arteezy said back in the day in an interview, which is very true. He said that, and I quote, "Dota is not a job or a hobby. Dota is a state of being. You either are Dota or you're not." Okay, that I find to be 100% true. And this is me talking. This is not Arteezy talking. But when you are Dota, it's hard to be anything else. It's hard to be anything else. Because even when I'm not playing, I still find myself deeply affected and consumed by it. I'm watching streams, YouTube videos about it, thinking about builds, mentally replaying games, thinking about how I could have won it. All this stuff. And it's so incredibly obvious when I step away from it. At this point, I haven't played a game in about a week and a half. But when you're in the trenches, you're so deep in a dream, in a beautiful nightmare, as my good friend Peter Stout, or Outlaw Dota, or Bethel Dota, or Dirt House Minecraft says. He goes by many names. And I just don't want to sacrifice this much for Dota. Like, I just know I would regret it in 10 years. I would look back and I would cry. I would cry. So because it takes away so much from other facets of my life, and I'm fighting vigorously upwind to make the kind of money that I want to make, it just makes perfect sense for me to take all of this energy that Dota is consuming, okay? This competitive drive, this need to shit on noobs that I have that's within me, and it's a powerful energy, right? I want to channel it into something that's going to bear fruit for me instead of just siphoning all my power into the unfruitful tree of Dota 2, because that's literally how I view it. Like, Dota takes that energy that I have, that a lot of us have, and it just sucks it away when you could be putting it toward other more fruitful things. I already explained that. Anyway, okay. And Dota in particular, guys, like, I'm gonna glaze for a second, be warned, but for whatever reason, attracts people with a shit ton of potential, like moths to a flame. Like, there's this guy on Twitter. He is super successful, has his own company, and first of all, he's ex-Dota, and he talks about it sometimes. He acknowledges how beautiful Dota is. Dota 2 is an improvement on chess. That is true, and really based, low-key. Like, he sees the beauty in it. And, I mean, this guy is super connected, right? And look at what he's saying. All the top AI researchers making $10 to $100 million are Dota 2 players, are ex-Dota 2 players. Okay, he's connected. And I also have a friend who is also generally, like, pretty plugged in. He owns his own company, pretty successful by, you know, societal standards, who swears there's a trend with cracked founders being ex-Dota players. Like, we are meant to fly, guys, and Dota keeps us grounded. And so this marks the beginning of the rest of my life post-Dota. I am a super ambitious guy when Dota isn't sucking it away, and I invite you to follow along. I'm going to be exploring and posting some different content on this channel. Also still some Dota content about pro games and replay reviews. I'll still do my replay review streams every day at 7 p.m. EST, where I do free replay reviews. But I'm just not going to be playing myself, because that's what causes the whole shadow career bit. I can enjoy it from outside and teach, I think. I'm experimenting with that balance right now. I just can't play. And if this resonates with you, if you feel what I feel, that it takes more than it gives, I urge you to quit with me. And you know if it does. You don't need me to tell you. Just be honest with yourself, because your brain will try to play tricks on you, right? It will tell you things like, I'll quit later, or a common one is, I'll quit after I get, you know, X MMR, then I'll chill. But this is your life. Your life doesn't start later. So if you don't want to spend your life here, don't, period. And if you do, again, that's completely fine. This is a deeply personal thing. Wow, that was a lot to get off my chest. I wonder how this is going to be received. Cheers, guys.